Gratitude is shown by Liberty to Duncan in chapter 1216 before she bids him farewell. Duncan bids goodbye to Sony as well, and the boy waved at him. He follows them as Liberty pedals off on her e-bike until they vanish from view. Then he goes back to his car and drives back to his workplace. Duncan is unaware that Mrs. Lewis and Lily, who were watching the conversation, decide to follow Liberty to learn more. Lily is given the go-ahead by Mrs. Lewis to accelerate and pass Duncan's vehicle so she may get a better look at the woman. To avoid being seen, they stop a little distance away from Duncan's parked car. Despite their best attempts, Mrs. Lewis finds it difficult to identify Liberty because she has lost a lot of weight since they last met. She had hardly noticed Liberty during a Stone family dinner, giving her a few fleeting glances. Duncan's mother's concern doesn't dissuade Lily, who accelerates and passes Duncan's vehicle. While his mother's car is passing by, Duncan decides not to try to catch up with them. If he continued to interact with them, he fears Lily would bug him. Duncan was the target of Lily, who was known for her daring pursuit of men, and he sought to avoid any potential issues. A short while later, Lily's vehicle drives by Liberty. Mrs. Lewis lowers the window to get a peep, but since Liberty is wearing a helmet, all she can make out is Sony in the kid's seat. Mrs. Lewis hurriedly opens the window while her demeanor darkens. Lily inquires with Mrs. Lewis about Liberty out of curiosity. Liberty is Mrs. Stone's niece and Mrs. York's older sister, according to Mrs. Lewis. Mrs. Lewis had a biased perception of Liberty because of their earlier experience when Liberty was a lot heavier. She has a bad opinion of Liberty since she thinks that her weight gain and disregard for her own needs led to the breakdown of her marriage. Mrs. Lewis hypothesizes that Liberty's husband may have had an affair with her or divorced her because of the way she looked. His mother's contempt is fueled by the memories of Liberty's prior weight, which is believed to have been over 200 pounds. Since Liberty is Mrs. York's sister and divorced, Lily is relieved that she is no longer a prospective love competition. Serenity, Mrs. York's sister who commands a greater social standing in their group as the wife of a powerful family member, is also mentioned by Mrs. Lewis. The discussion between Lily and Mrs. Lewis reveals their unfavorable opinions of Liberty, as well as the importance they attach to social standing and outward attractiveness.